Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Link Shack. So, today we have a dialogue here about somebody that is getting they're having their gas filled up in their tank, and it's just, and then while that's going on, they also have the oil checked and some basic car stuff. So, we will we will go through this real quick, and then I'll get you on your way. So the first one here is Yarik. Yarik. Yarik means to pour in or to fill up. And if you want to add, if you want to say like pour it for me or fill it up for me, then you can add a that to it. This is it really depends on whenever you're adding the dative, which is like a to or for someone type of thing. You know, you do something for somebody, you do something, or something happens to someone, right? Like for that purpose. Like if it's also if it's like purposive, like you're doing something for someone, but there's like a purpose behind it. I suppose is the easiest way to put it. There's like a different thing, a different ending you put on there, but we're not going to talk about that today. The for these forms, it looked like that that was the form for those. And sometimes you can't find the forms for a certain verb, so you just kind of have to go with this. But for the dative, it's part of a table, so it depends on if it's a punctual or stative ending, or if it's an imperative command. It really the ending can change a little bit, but there's only like 4 or 8 different combinations that there can be, and a lot of them are very similar anyway. So moving on, kunya. Kunya means gasoline. So kunya actually means oil, and it's also used in the word for ointment, which is like kunya or something, or something like that. And you can use that for oil. It's also used for ointment. So but you could probably imagine, petroleum jelly type of stuff. So if you want to say specifically that it's like for the car, it can get messy because this is also oil. So there's not really a word for gasoline that I know of. This is the closest word that there is. So this can be, I'm assuming that this can also be used for gasoline. There might be like a special type of way or special suffixes that you can add, in front of this or after this to make a new noun that like specifically refers to the gasoline you put in your car. I'm sure there's different ways, like low gasoline. Low oil can mean like the octane you put in your car, or you can get like mid grade gas, or premium gas, or diesel, or you know some kind of corn ethanol based fuel. It just depends on what it is, but I'm sure there's a way to make now that for the sake of this dialogue, and we're not even using it here. I'm just putting this here. It's just like fill it up, please. So, Asierik Yahweh, Yahweh. So, us is basically you in this case. So that's set here. So us, so to you, you fill it up. So the imperative in Tuscarora is generally just a silent space. It's not. It doesn't mean that the imperative has no function. It's that the imperative is simply the root. It's just the root plus the root in its base form. Asiatic. Yeah, Asiatic and Yahweh. Fill it up, please. It would be something like that, right? So you wouldn't need to put anything after it. Whereas if you're putting like the punctual, or you're working with like the stative or the perfective tense, or sorry, aspect, you might you might have to put something after this, right? Like putting hawk, for a habitual past tense, like something that's going on. The past was going on. So next one, so terhu. Terhu means to pour in. So that's another way that you can say that, to pour in or fill up. This specifically means fill up. Yarik for this means fill up. Terhu Terhu means to pour, specifically to pour. So just to keep those two separately. So terhu means to pour. And if you want to say to pour in for someone, then you would say terhu fe. So terhu fe. And this, how much shall I pour in for you? So I may have discussed this in an earlier dialogue, but quana means much or many by itself. There are several different suffixes in Tuscarora that mean much or many that are used for different things. They can range from things such as like a few or several to being a general use all purpose plural marker. So for this, so in te can mean how, it can also be a negative particle. It has a couple different things, but it can mean how, and it can also mean what in some cases. So te quana. So te quana means I'm just putting those together in meaning, to put them together to make like a simple way to say how much or how many, because there's no actual documented or tested way to say how much or how many in Tuscarora. So te quana is the closest that I think I'm going to get to finding that. So so how much shall I pour in for you? So this is shall I pour in for you, or should I put in for you? So the and this punctual here, it's already telling you that it will be happening. Like, how much am I going to pour in? And then you have the ka, which is the first person singular, so that's I essentially. The in this case, which would be a se at the front, like in aro sa'anahweki. This is the you and you want. It's different whenever it's the object form. So whenever you're using the second person singular form, or saying you, like I did something to you, or I gave you something, like an action, whenever you perform an action on or to someone else, then that it becomes okay. So ka means I to you. It's telling the person that it's from me to you. So ekka therhu is to pour. Therhu athe. Okay, so therhu the. So ekka therhu the, and then the punctual, that's just the future tense, as already mentioned. Tekwana and ken therhu athe. And then the next one, so pour in 10 liters for me. So tiwafe means 10, and liter, I'm not sure if there's a proper word for that, so we're just using the English word here, since there's no way to really say that, and I'm not even sure how I would properly transliterate this at the moment, because I haven't done enough research on that to be able to do that properly. So tiwafe liter hane, or liter hane, or liter hane, however you want to say it. Tiwafe liter hane, aska therhuthe. Aska therhuthe. Okay, therhuthe. So the so this hane is just it's a plural marker. So this is turning liters into liter hane, 10 liters. Tiwathe liter hane, and then you, ka, to me, or for me. So you for me, and then this is just, you have to put that there. It's a vowel. It's a joiner vowel, and then therhu, pour, and then athe is that too. It allows you to express that too. That you are doing, that you are pouring it for me. So you pour it for me. And this is that, basically the 4. So tiwathe liter hane aska therhuthe. And then aru sa'anathweki, if you want. So aru is if, Aro Sanetweki. And then again, the word again, Kanya. Kanya. Kanya is oil. And then Atkatu. Atkatu is to check. So Atkatu to check. And Satnethweki, Arak Atkatu Ha Kanya. Do you want me to check the oil? So Satnethweki, do you want? So the sa part is that sa is the u, and the onethweki means want to or desire. And then arak is for me. It literally means for me to, right? So this is what you would say. This auto thing is generally used in, I believe it's called the punctual indefinite. So there's no tense used in this. It simply serves. So for this, it simply serves as like an infinitive for all intents and purposes. Do you want me to check? So, but this auto allows you to put it to say for me to do something. So Sanethwiki arak to do, for me to check. Atkatu, and then this is simply the ending that goes with ara. So ara goes around. Ara and the glottal stop at the end of this word. They go around the root. Atkatu. Ha is the, or the focus marker, and then kaya is the oil, or you can probably use it for gasoline as well, as mentioned earlier. So do you want me to check the oil? Sanethweki arak atkatu ha kaya. And then the next one, katane utu. Okay, so definitely, for sure, surely, stuff like that. And the is yes. So katane utu ka'a. Yeah, so utu ka'a means yes, for sure, definitely. And then on this one, so just to quickly cover the cap this, utuka'a. Utuka'a mean by itself means sure or definite. So whenever you combine it with ka'ane means exactly by itself, but ka'ane utuka'a means definitely. It turns that into, for all intents and purposes, turns that into the adverb. That it puts that li at the end, or that for end, for sure, or surely even. Anyway, so the next one, ukane. So ukane can mean a lot of different things. So it can mean tire. It also means several other things that I can't remember. But for the purpose of this dialogue, it means a tire. So ukane, tire, and this isn't used here, but I just put it here because in the original translation, which was in Amharic, the literal translation of this line was something like, my tires are about to blow up, or something like that. My tires are about to burst, or something. Would you please fix it? So this is the form. This is what you would say for that, which is nekawaharit. So nekawaharit. So nekawaharit would go around, would circumfix around the stem of the around the pronouns and objects that you would have. So ne would go at the front, and if you're saying like it blew up, you might say naya kawaharit, because the young would be like an indefinite, like you don't know what, it doesn't have a gender. It's just something. It's just like an inanimate object. In this case, that would be ukane. And then the next one is hwach. Hwach becomes hwath whenever it precedes an eh. I'm not sure if this goes for all vowel, like if it precedes any vowel. I haven't formally. I have seen the section in the grammar sketch that I have regarding the phonetics and the phonetic changes and stuff like that, but I haven't done like a thorough review like I have the verb tenses in previous videos. Okay, so watch. So I had to dig for this one. For this one, I had to really dig in the dictionary for this. Like, I had to really dig. So I noticed that there was this form, right? I was looking for is going flat, is getting, becoming flat, right? I couldn't find that with that verb, but I found it with other verbs. And I only saw it like maybe in 2 or 3, maybe 4 different references. And the what I can tell you is that ana means the ana means like it means to become or to become of something like this. I'm not exactly sure what the ahanya is, but what I could say about that is the end. I was studying the perfective or the stative aspect in Tuscarora the other day, preparing for videos I'm going to be filming later, and I noticed that there's this hanya. So hanya is, it goes at the, what I can say is that it goes at the very end of a verb. Its root form is hatyu, but it becomes hanya, probably because the t meets the yeah, and then it causes it to become a glottal stop followed by an n. So hatya is something like in the process of, and it goes at the very end of the verbal phrase. So this literally means is in the process of becoming. So I would not have been able to explain this even 2 days ago because I did not see hanya, or I did not see hanya in the verb. But I saw this whole form. I was only able to understand the whole form because that's what I saw in the dictionary. But since I've been studying the perfective, that's what I studied the other day. Hanya, I know for sure is in the process of. So this is in the process of becoming. So anya, or anna, hanya, hanya. Okay, so hanya. And then to repair or to fix it for someone. So acha quast. So acha quast. So quast means good. Acha, I'm not sure what acha is, but acha quasta means to repair something for someone, to fix it, and or service something. So is that dative that we saw earlier, which is to someone or for someone. Okay, so acha quast to acha quast to. Okay, that to repair it. So my tires. So the okane, and then the ane, tires, so tires, my tires. So kukane ane, and then you see hwafa, flat. You tells you that it refers to the tires. So the tires are hwafa, and then you see that hanya here. So it flat becoming is my tires are going flat. Kukane, yeah. Kukane ane. You hwafa ane hanya. You can say this slowly. You don't have to rush to say these. You have to say them slowly before you can get them into your active memory. Then akakwani. So kwani means to be able to be capable of. It also means can. So akakwani, or would it be possible? It also means to be possible. So akakwani, would it be possible? Right? Would you? Akakwani, us, you, me, achaquast fix achaquasta to fix the for. So this is you fix it for me, please. All right. So akakoini aska achaquasta the nyawe ask achaquasta the nyawe. My tires are going flat. Would you please fix it? No, I'm gonna try the whole thing now. Kukane. Yeah, kukane ane. You hatha ane e hanye. Akakweni ask acha quast to the Yahweh. Yahweh. And then this is if you can. So on this one, ara means if. Ara means if, and I believe this is an extended vowel. Uquenya, if it is possible that you, right? You. So set is you in this case. So there you go. So ara uquenya se. So if it is possible, and you'll probably be able to get the rest of this. So ara uquenya sehra. So hra, if you've been following along in these dialogues or studying this, hra means to wait, right? If a person's not being made to wait for someone, that would be hrahwa. Hra means just to wait. So ara uquenya sehra. So if you can wait a little bit. Nara west. Nara west. Akakweni, it'll be possible for me to fix it for you. Right, I can fix it for you. So akakweni, it is possible. It is possible I can. K, so I, and then the is you. I to you. And then this is just to connect it. This is to connect it to the could become a I whenever it follows a vowel. So the kya cha quast fix hathe. So in this case, because it is like he will fix it for him, he's gonna fix it real quick and it's done. It's not gonna be a serial or habitual action. It's not a state of action. It's a legitimate punctual action. It's something that he will do here shortly, and it will be done, and then his oil will be fixed. So kuya quast fe. So ara hukonya sehru nara west. Akakwani kuyach ha quast the. Gotta make sure you say that. Alright. So next. Karokia. So karokia is since, like, the way I'm understanding it is like since as in, almost interchangeable with because since this happened, blah blah blah. Or since you did this, blah blah blah. So, because you can say nyaweri. Nyaweri means because. That's another way to say, to express that kind of connector. So karoke, since, and then siawe. So siawe is some, but siawe is a non-specific sum. If you want to say something that's specific, you say ste. Ste is like that specific object, that specific thing. But siawe, this doesn't refer to anything specific, so there you go. In this case, it refers to like just you have some work in general you have to do. And then yutne. Yutne is work. I couldn't find like a standalone noun for work, but the root for working is yutne. So we can easily make a noun, which I did in this dialogue here. I could have attached work to do, like so that the person would. So I would have said I have work to do, and I could have been part of the verb. I'll explain below. But I just decided to do it like this just to make it easier for people. So yutne, work. Arakia. So you see that ara again, and then arak for me, and then yen to do, from me to do. So that might mean, hold on, does that mean go? Sorry, I might have done this by mistake. I meant to put yer because yer is to do. So this should be arak. This should be arakir. Yeah, I'll correct that later. Okay, and then here to leave, that's unya unyav unyav. So to leave unyav. You got to make sure you have that before the fa. So so unyav unyav unyav. And in the dialogue, I put a te before that, so you see that here. Ut 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 kuunyaf. So ut kuunyaf. I will leave. I put the ta here. This is basically telling the hearer or the people, the listeners of whatever he or her are saying, that there's something he has to leave, and go someplace. There's some location. There's gonna be some movement involved. There's a cislocative, which I believe is like away from the speaker, or it's like when you're going to a location, and then there's a translocative when you're like leaving from a location. That's just the pattern that I saw, that I kind of sort of saw on the grammar sketch. So that's that. So and then uutrechere is a car or vehicle. So uutrechere. So the stress would be on the I believe. So the uutreche, a car or vehicle. Uutreche. There's also other words that are like longer that mean car. Like it's like there's like one's like cazziatore, another word for a car. There's actually like 3 different words for car, I think. Now that I'm thinking about this, one of them may use this root, but I haven't like figured that out completely yet. And then there's uutrechere. And the next one, I'll go. This also, this or plus the stem. Whenever you have the at the front, as mentioned in past videos on verbs, this tends to be a thing where you have the at the front, and then the glottal stop at the end. It usually means will do, or is going to do. In this case, you can also use it for have to. So this is the form that's used in showing obligation. So telling someone that you will do something is saying that you have to do it at the same time. So you can use, I imagine you can use those separately, and whatever the case is, but they mean the same. They mean the same thing in Tuscarora, but they can translate as 2 different things in English. So uncan. So uncan means I can go, and can I'll go, or I have to go, or I'm going to go. So now this whole thing here, and tisne means and, just so that you're refresher, you have that refresher. Karuken, kuyan, I have, kuyan, siawen, some, uyune, work, araken, to do, or arakier, arakier, to do, or arakier. Antkuunyaaf, ha uuthrechre, tisne, enkia. Okay. Kaarukia, sense, kuya, I have, siawe, some, uyune, work, arakier, or arakier, to, for me to do, Et kunyaf. I'll leave the car, and remember the tap. I'll leave the car, letting you know that I'm going to be moving away from this location, or that there will be movement involved with this action in any tense. Ha the uthretre car uthretre, and then tisna. Tisna is and. It could also, I think, it could probably mean with as well. I'm not 100% sure about it. Tisna, and then ekya. Ekya. I have to go. So karukia kuya siawe uyune araker et kunyaf ha uthretre tisna ekya. All right. So that is all that we have today for this verb, or sorry, sorry for this lesson. I'm just thinking about the perfected verbs because I'm going to be doing that next after this. Thank you all for following along. And if you're interested in language coaching or language instruction, for any language, doesn't matter how rare, doesn't matter how common it is, I can help you or any number of people, especially if it's like a beginner and intermediate levels, or if you're a heritage speaker and you're trying to reclaim your language. I can help you with that. I can offer packages, long-term packages, any kind of setup that you're looking for your language learning journey. I can offer that. Even coordinating your language learning stuff and offering you curated content and making sure that you reach your goals. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can reach out. You can reach out to me on language.club and book a consultation. Or you can also reach out at languageshack at gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.